All right, we are live. It's the Blue Madness podcast. Mike Salas has joined us tonight from at Dodgers After Duty and, of course, Dodgers Beat, and just killing it with the Substack. Really proud of him. He's the guy now for prospects. And his way, I have no problem giving him props because he's really good at his job. So, um, we appreciate him, and of course, Dodgers After Duty. I like the logo. Do you have a picture of it? Can you show it?
Which one?
The one with the helmet.
Oh,
Really like that one.
yeah, I do. I
Bring
can
it up
send
when
it.
you can. We could throw it up easy peasy.
Okay.
Let's see. Just getting my the Rumble account that no one looks at, but my backup in case I get banned for saying something bad about Mookie Betts or something, or Shohei Ohtani. All right, here we go. Prospect report. I don't know. What do you think about having Blake Snell in a Padre hat?
That was pretty funny. I like that.
Yeah.
That,
It
that
was
was
like,
that was
it was
good.
like I wanted to kind of put Snell, and then I'm like, oh, why not?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Um, well, because I used that back in spring training 2024
Yeah.
when I made my self-proclaimed best video, where I didn't do any ums or anything else like that, begging for Blake Snell to be signed by the Dodgers. Um, hey, glad they got him. Glad he's on our side now. I hated facing that guy, man.
Yeah,
Gee,
he's doing good. I mean, he's coming around. I don't. I knew some stuff about him. Especially when we played him. In the World Series. Now they pulled him super early, after, they got like a couple of hits off of him. Then all of a sudden it was like a knee jerk reaction of, pulling him from that. And, when he's played with the Giants but yeah, I like Blake Snell, he's doing good. I wasn't like too keen on, he'd rather walk people than them getting a hit, mentality. That was kind of a little weird to me, but I understand it. But no, I like him. He's doing good. I got to cover him when we both covered him when he was at Rancho. Um, when he was over at OKC, did some coverage, on the social media stuff, and he did really well. I got to actually talk to him when I was covering the game in Texas for Dodgers Beat, and he's a super nice guy and very personable. And what I gathered from him, he used to like the game a lot until he had his kid.
exactly. Yeah. And I would not have advocated for getting Blake Snell. And then I started saying, oh, he has a kid. Oh, he got married. Oh, he grew up.
Mm-hmm.
And he takes his game seriously. We see where he's in the locker room. He's near Kersh, right? He's right next to him. Is that where
Yes.
he's
Yep.
right next to him?
Yep.
And Craig Osterberg is in the house. Thanks for getting that moderator wrench out. Um, Hopefully we get some views. I know it's Clint's probably still hopefully finishing up. Hopefully Clint comes along. I should have gone on the Discord and well. Richard, there we go. Oh, Empire Jeff TV, nice. Nice. Yeah, definitely. Let's go Dodgers, man. Hey, I mean, okay. I'm gonna be super honest. After these games against the Angels, it was really like after the first game against the Angels. They just blew that game against the Jays. They lost 2 or 3 against the Cardinals before that. I was definitely in we're in real trouble.
Yes.
And I leave the tweets out. I don't go hide my tweets going, hey, because I'm like, hey, we're gonna be lucky to be in the wild card the way we're playing. And I still anything can go wrong.
Hmm.
But we've seen right now the Brewers are playing incredible, and right now they're the team to beat. But you know
Yeah.
what? The Indians, Guardians, whatever they were a few years ago, had that 22 game winning streak, and you know out. Dodger Blue 82's in the house. I mean, so yeah, that's what it is. It's gonna. How hot do you get? We've had the Dodgers go out. They did two in a one series in a barbecue. Was it the Cancun special or whatever it is? Uh,
Mhm.
Twice in a row, and we were close to it last year. And now they got hot at the right time. Everything kind of made things go well. Richard's in the house. I better just get it right now. Just not even for the Dodgers explicit guys, but for Richard. Here we go. Oh, did it go? Oh man, I didn't hear it. Shoot. Oh well, I was trying to get my language detector going. Dang it. Oh well. Um, let's see. Imagine if the Padres put the same effort in the bullpen, overall good organization as they do try to beat the Dodgers. No kidding. What? I don't know. I still am shocked they won the game today.
I'm I'll be honest, I'm kinda shocked they swept them. I thought that they were gonna take, like, maybe 1 out of 2, yeah, if lucky, especially the way that they've been playing, uh, as of late, and, I'm glad to see him, a little bit of a spark that comes up. I still have a little bit of problems with, Teoscar Hernandez,
Mm-hmm.
in his lackadaisical effort that he puts in, still. But it was good to see Mookie, get that home run today. It's good to see Freddie, get another home run, and Pages, crank one out also. And the pitching has been really good. Kershaw was Kershaw. He continues to amaze me with his age, and I think really is we're actually seeing a healthy Clayton Kershaw, and he's not hurt like he has been, underlined hurt, like he has been for the past couple years. I think he's had troubles, with the shoulder and stuff, and that's been lingering with him for a few years. And now that he's got it fixed, and this is the Kershaw that that we're all used to seeing. Granted, he's not in the mid 90s anymore, but his slider and his curveball is still there, and he can still, throw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball and paint a corner to make you swing and miss. So Clayton Kershaw was very impressive. Snell was very good, even though he only had 3 strikeouts. But it showed that a team knows that pitcher, and they got to him a little bit, and then we had
Tyler.
Glasnow,
Yeah.
pitch a gem today also. So all 3 pitchers, fed off of one another, and that was good to see.
Yeah. And hey, thank you very much to the Padres. Whoever was calling those guys to steal yesterday in the first 2 innings, where William Dilliam Smith just threw. I mean, just BBs, right?
Yeah.
Right on the money every time. So I tweeted today, right after the Padres tied the game in the 8th inning, I said, a tie game in the and a battle of the bullpens. If the Padres lose this game, ...
Yeah.
How I mean, that's where I'm just it's not our starting pitching or our hitters. It's the bullpen. It's just
Yes.
absolutely scary. And Diaz coming in and 0-2 and you drill the guy. Oh my gosh. But hey, props to Alex Vesia coming
Yes.
back and looking like that maniac. Oh man, that was good to see.
Oh, definitely. Especially after he hit 2 baddies yesterday.
Yeah.
When he was pitching, he came in, told Doc he wanted the ball, and he gave it to him, and he went out there and took care of business.
Yeah.
And it's good to see. I think this could be a bit of a turnaround, for the bullpen game, for them to come out. We got Tanner Scott and Kirby Yates going to on the road with Oklahoma. I think they're going to pitch either Tuesday or Wednesday, with OKC. And so we'll get those guys in some, rehab work done. And then Kopech, had a decent game last night.
Okay.
He pitched one inning and he looked way better than he did his the first start rehab that he had. He didn't look too well. His command was way off. He was throwing the ball over the catcher and in the dirt and getting behind the catcher. But yesterday his command was a lot better and he was throwing in the high 90s again. And um, I think he struck out one batter yesterday. So it's good to see him, starting to get back on track also. So we have some pieces that are going to come back. And I think that we're going to see a bullpen that's going to go back to, playoff baseball like we did last year.
All right, let me ask this question. Big Bobby Miller.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I like Bobby Miller as a reliever.
That's what I'm talking. Yeah,
Yeah.
Is he ready? I switched my camera real quick.
I don't. That's kind of a hard one. The times that I've seen him pitch already, he's looked good. His stuff is playing very well.
Okay.
He's not, um, out of control like he was, and he's not in his head. And he's only pitched like maybe 1 inning, 2 innings, at the
Yeah.
most as a reliever. But his stuff looks, a lot better. And I think he's getting used to that role. I mean, the first time that I saw him pitch, when he made his first start as a reliever, he did okay.
Mhm.
But his second time out, he did way better. His third time out, he looked good. He looked real good. And that's when I wrote that article about him. Could we see him, at the end of the season?
Yeah. Well, let's hope so. And so go read. What is it? Can you give your information again?
My Substack.
Your Substack, yes.
I made a new Substack. It's Dodgers After Duty on Substack. Appreciate you guys, supporting my Substack, and I've got a few articles out there right now. Got one on Kendall George and him breaking the Great Lake Loons um, stolen base record, and I'm going to be putting one out on Ryan Ward, getting ready to probably on Monday. If he
Okay.
gets an RBI, he'll break the Bricktown's all-time RBI record already. That he already has the Bricktown's home run record.
And go ahead and feel free to drop it in the chat if you want.
Okay.
I think we got Oscar Vargas with the. I think this is a legit question, but I think we're getting an answer better and better on this guy. Does Clayton Kershaw make the postseason roster? I think he does. I don't know in what role, but I think he makes it. And I mean, so my concern with Kersh, right? So 2023, he goes and dominates a bunch of crappy teams and gets that first start,
Mm-hmm.
6 runs. He's out after what, a third of an inning or whatever. Awful. That was terrible for him. I'm sure obviously felt gross and probably wanted to go hide for the off season. But he pitched well against the Brewers, who is a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
And he pitched well against the Padres, who is a playoff team, and at the time was ahead of the Dodgers. So I'm starting to go, yeah. And we do know, I hate to say it, and I'm not trying to be this jinxy guy, but someone's going to go down in the rotation. We just got that feeling. I always have that feeling with this team, but it would be nice to go, hey, Kersh, maybe you're the long guy or something like that. Maybe he does get a start. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things where they're up 3-0 and hey, let's burn Kersh and try to steal a win and have him raise the glass with that sucker,
Well, I think Doc's already said, because we get to add, one extra person in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So he's going to go 13 for pitchers. He just mentioned that the other day. So, who those 13 pitchers are going to be? I mean, you got Yamamoto, you got Kersh, or you got Snell, you got Glass now, Ohtani.
Wait, but Ohtani doesn't count as a pitcher.
Well, yeah, you know,
Even better.
So that's 4 starters. Who's the 5th starter going to be? Is it going to be Emmett Sheehan? Who's going to be
They
coming in?
won't go
Or
with 5. I don't think they're gonna go with 5. They'll go with 4. I mean, it's if they 5 would be really you never know with this team though, right? They
I personally, I think I'd like to see 5. Because I'm still I'm still not completely sold on Glass now and how healthy he's going to be.
yeah. I
So,
was glad to see they didn't try to push him into the 6th and go over 100 pitches. I was
mhm.
glad to see that today. So, Oscar does have another point here. Miller hasn't pitched since Thursday for what it's worth. Maybe we see Bobby Miller in Colorado.
Yeah, there was some talk of him, coming over.
Yeah.
But don't know. He wasn't. I didn't see him pitch. What? He didn't pitch today. He didn't pitch yesterday. Yeah, that's about right. He
Yeah.
hasn't. He hasn't pitched since Thursday.
So there you never know. Just throwing it out there. Let's see. Catching up on a few things. Showtime LA's in the house. Yes. Fellas, good to see DePaula is back. Yes. So glad to see that.
Limited playing time.
Yeah. And then, did you see who went on the injured list again?
No.
Yoender Vargas.
Ooh. Again,
Yeah.
I haven't seen him with Rancho, so
Neither have I.
I
Well,
kind
no,
of
I think
figured
I saw
that
him. I
something had
think I
happened to
saw
him.
him once. I saw him once. And let me make sure I got that right. I'm going real quick. Yeah, let's see, where is it? And there was some movement today. Where was it? Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, on 8/14 he got put on. There was some change. So Brady Smith, I think he was at 2023 or 2024.
2023.
Yeah, he's at Rancho now.
Yep.
And
He had
then
a good start today.
well, Zazueta got promoted to the Loons.
Mm-hmm.
Isaac Aon, I'm hoping I'm saying right, was promoted to the Quakes. Aiden Fuller to the Loons, friend of the show. Wyatt Crowell is now at Tulsa. My goodness. That's good. These are good things other than Vargas going down again.
A lot of movement,
Yeah.
still, in the minor leagues. The only thing that I'm really kind of surprised about is that they haven't really moved up Jackson Ferris up to OKC yet. The pitching up there is struggling. It seems like in the past month, the relievers just can't get it done. They go out to a big gigantic lead, and then they either get it close or they end up losing the game, because the relievers that are coming in just can't hold it down, and they're just giving up hits, and it's kind of crazy. And the starters are going, kind of deep, but not too deep. And Jackson Ferris had a really good game yesterday. So I was kind of surprised that he hasn't been moved up yet, especially with you know, Kasperius not going back, Dryer not going back, Landon Knack struggling. Landon Knack has just been shelled his last his last 2 starts. So he's kind of digressed, pretty heavily. So um, that's a little surprising to me.
Yeah. Well, we got the explicit guys in the house. I don't think it's working. Dang it. Hey, explicit. I did send you an email if you want to join the stream. Let's see. Showtime LA. Let's see. Emil Morales is the best prospect at Rancho right now. And then also Yeah, I don't know how to say Co's name properly. His first name and everything. And then Chase Harlan's there now. It's really coming together. I don't know when I'm getting out there though again. I don't know. When are you going to get out there?
I'm gonna try and go out Tuesday.
Oh, very good.
So I'm gonna try and get out there. Uh, I kind of agree with that. Co's kind of like, I don't know. Chase Harlan, had a 2-run shot yesterday. And Emil Morales, he's just been this series over in Visalia this week. He's just killed it. So I think he's starting to come into his own, starting to get used to playing with Rancho along with Harlan. I think Coe has, he's still kind of adjusting a little bit, and I think we'll see his bat, really start to play. And the team is really starting to gel together right now with all the ACL players that
Yeah.
came up, and have mixed in with the guys that have already been there. And that team is really starting to gel pretty good. They're going to need it, because next month they'll be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
For sure. I know, which is, they're already in, obviously. And then, Morales is one of those guys I was concerned about because of a lot of the swing and miss. Yeah.
I was concerned about that
Yeah.
too, but
No,
he's
legit.
actually his eye. I could see. He's actually looking at the pitches. He's
Mhm.
not doing a whole lot of swing and miss. You see glimpses of it. On some of the games, but other, for most of the games, he's taking a good at bat. He's fouling off a lot of hits, and yeah, he's already got three home runs already since he's come up. So I think he's doing really good.
Yeah. And then, what was the other so, remember, Co's still like 18,
Yes.
and so is Morales. So those guys
They're
are
all young.
babies,
Yeah, they're all young.
Let's see. Let's see. Richard's like, let's see. Why does everyone keep insisting on throwing dirt on Kershaw? He's healthy, providing quality, and he's healthy. Yeah, no shade there, none at all. It's just who's going to be the best guy, who's going to be the best four, is what it'll be. And if he's
Mhm,
one of them, great. And he's been passing tests in my book. Again, against the Padres doing well, against the Brewers doing well. That's good stuff. I mean, it's wonderful to see that. We all, first of all, we want, obviously, a guy. We want Kirsch to be great because he is an all-timer.
oh,
One
definitely.
one team. Frasso, this is a good one, yeah. And Frasso lost cause, and then Showtime LA about his surgery. Um, that labrum surgery is a real booger.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, it sounds like he's a reliever now. Or, I mean, I don't think they have much of a choice. And
Yeah, they moved him over. His starts have not been good. His command has been, like, super off,
yeah,
throwing a lot of wild pitches. Again, it's going to the backstop. Nothing's really, going to where he wants it to go. They did move him into the reliever spot, and, again, he's been part of the problem with all those relievers that have been coming in, and not holding down innings, and preventing runs to happen. Last night, I think last night was his best relief appearance since he's come back and since he's been put in that position.
that's good.
So things are looking, we'll see in the next, few weeks. Um, I don't think maybe a lost cause, for this season. That's probably not a really good word for it. When I talk to people about Ferrasso, I keep saying, this is his rehab season for him.
Yeah. Okay.
Next year is going to be the definition.
And he's getting older. I mean, that's obviously an issue. And then
Yeah.
Karros, I thought he was, for some reason, I thought he was out for the season, but I might be wrong.
I haven't been really paying attention to Tulsa. I've been concentrating mainly on Oklahoma, concentrating a lot on the Loons and Rancho.
And then Showtime LA has a question about Copen, um, the walks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the question is he a reliever, starter? I mean, those are the types of questions to be.
Well, again, he's coming back also off of the injured list. Um, he's he's had glimpses of the old Patrick Copen. His first
Mhm.
start back, he had a really good game. And then after that, he's kind of digressed a little bit. He's back to walking a lot of batters again. He's showing signs of, you know, getting it back. But again, he's probably going to need time just like all of them.
Then let's see. There was okay, and I am starting to get on the train of I want to see them push Enriquez a little harder. I mean, he was really good last night, and he's been really good since he came up. And it was really, and let's be honest, us fastball junkies just kind of getting pretty fired up about that 103, 102, 103 mile an hour stuff, man. I mean, geez. But he's looking. It seems like the command is getting better.
Yes, I would agree with that.
I think this is true. I think this is true still.
His last start, with the Dodgers didn't go so well, and I was like going, okay, that's the Edgardo that I was used to seeing. In the minors, a little out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he could throw some heat, and but his command was not there all that great. But it was good to see him come out and actually throw a really good um, outing. When he came in, so 103, 102, 101. You know, his accuracy was right there. It was pinpoint. I mean, this
Yeah.
stuff was on yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And that was good to see.
Yeah,
And another,
these weren't all 102 down the middle. No, he was hitting a couple of the backwards Ks. I think he got
yeah,
2 of them right.
yeah.
On really good pitches.
hmm
I mean, those are legit.
Another guy who throws some gigantic heat, who throws harder than Edgardo is Ronaldo Yang
I know.
with
Yeah.
balloons. That dude threw 105 already.
Jeez. Is he improving at all?
He's
El
he
Monstro Negro.
he played he made an appearance today and he did okay.
Good. Yeah, it's just I mean I have such high hopes for him. So I was asking about Cop. Now Cop I thought was coming around a bit,
Yes.
which is really good. I really like that guy. And I like his parents too, so they're good folks.
Yeah. Ron Kopp's been doing pretty good. A lot better. The guy who's kind of surprised me the most out of all of them is Maddox Bruns. He just does not came around. He had a really good first inning the other day, up at with the Loons, but that was about it. And then he went back to walking, and his command was off again. And I don't know. I thought Maddox Brunt would have come out and did a lot better than what he has, especially because, you know, granted, I'm gonna just say it was a back injury, and it wasn't
Right.
an arm injury. So that's why I'm a little bit more surprised about, Maddox Brunt than the others.
And then Showtime LA is talking about Carson Hobbs doing really well, which is cool. I want to go back to because I think this is a legit thing. Um, how does Dave manage Conforto in the postseason? And I'm gonna throw in he's on my like, oh my gosh, what a terrible trade list is Alex Call. Um, he's overwhelmed, he's overmatched. I don't know what it is. But he is not doing it. Conforto's had his moments. But I look at some of this question really becomes, hey, how healthy is Mr. October? When I say Mr. October, I mean Kike Hernandez.
hmm
I also want to throw in Tommy Tanks. I think those guys being healthy will change some things. And of course, make it, they may have to put Edmund at third, but let's just hope and pray that injury that Muncy has is healed by mid-September, so he can come back and get ready and start crushing the ball again. I mean, Max Muncy is he's been just so important this year. Another really bad start. We heard we got to get Arenado again. Oh gosh. Um, but that dude carried the team for quite a while. He goes down with a 9-game lead. He come, in by they lose they lose that 9-game advantage. I know they're up by 2 again, so a net 7. But Muncy's clearly a very important batter. And
hmm
there was a couple times during this game I'm going, oh man, Muncy would be up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going, dang it. I mean, no shade against Teo or Pajes, but against a right-hander, I want Muncy. That's for sure. And yeah.
Definitely. That the Conforto thing's kind of a hard one. You know, they're not. If they're going to get rid of him, they would have gotten rid of him already.
Yeah.
So he's with the team until the very end. So that is a good question by Richard Flores. How's Dave going to manage him? You know, he's done a decent job with him already. Especially giving him the runway that he's given him. The tip of the hat yesterday. Building his confidence up. Making him feel more of a part of the team. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Conforto could
Two
turn it.
RBIs, right?
Conforto could turn it around, in September and October and just start, knocking the cover off the ball, and everybody's gonna say, "Oh, that's the best trade ever." Then all of a sudden he's the
Yeah.
best thing since sliced
Well,
bread.
I mean, I've been keeping my hopes up with him. It's been frustrating, especially right after the trade deadline. He did really well for a month. Trade deadline passes, and all of a sudden he's right back on the crapper again. But now we're seeing some signs, some good at bats again. Um, Alex Call has been really brutal. I don't know. I mean, good Lord. I got someone out there going, well, maybe we should give Ruiz a chance again, But
No
right now
way.
the bench is weak. I mean, with Call is providing nothing on the bench. I mean, he's a fine defensive player. That hasn't made a difference yet. I mean, they're going with Justin Dean in center field for those late innings things instead of Call. Call sometimes will come in and hit for Conforto or whatever. So he'll go to left. But man, that dude needs to get it going right now. I mean, see, postseason starts and some of these guys come back. Call is not on that roster.
No, and it's just I don't because in some ways, excuse me, in some ways it's kind of like everybody looks at Call and Conforto. And they go, oh, well, Tommy Edman came in there and started, kicking butt, right off the bat, after the trade line. Not every player is going to do that.
Right.
Um,
There's
y-
adjustments.
yeah, they're going to need to adjust, and you know, we'll see what happens. I didn't think the Call trade was very good, anyways.
Yeah. Too much.
So
Too much. We gave up too much for that guy.
yeah.
I mean, for a backup guy, we gave up. Two nice right-handed arms that were in our top 25.
Hmm.
Here's a quick one here. Has Tony Glasselin ever had a healthier? Well, you got Gonsolin, you got Glass now. It sounds like we got a mix. The answer is no
Hmm.
for either one of them. They've never. Well, maybe Gonsolin in 2021.
I think his first year he had a full.
Well, that was he had 2019. He came up, and I think he was healthy. Yeah, he was healthy. 2020 was a short season, so he's healthy for that. But yeah, it's always a concern with Tyler Glasnow, and of course I still have my Yamamoto's fears because he's so good. Yeah, gosh, I really want him. And I'm kind of looking at the depth chart and I'm going, my goodness, we really need Kike back. We need Hae-Sung Kim back. We need Max Muncy back. I think so. Freeland has been excellent defensively. He got off to a really good start offensively and has done 0 cents. But some of those plays he was made, especially at second, I don't even remember him playing second base ever. And he goes in and just starts dominating out. He's making some really slick plays out there. He's doing okay at third. A couple of plays like you going, maybe. But then I go, well, Muncy wouldn't have got that either. So,
Freeland played a few games at second base, this year.
okay.
He's doing exactly what I thought would happen with him.
Yeah.
His glove plays, but his bat still needs work and some consistency.
Yeah.
This is a good taste for him. It's going to give him stuff that's to work on, and it's going to make the Dodgers really think about especially when spring training comes around next year and how much he works on his batting on in the off season. I think his goal is to make the Dodgers make a choice.
Yeah.
on, if he's going to be on the roster or not, for next year. Um, uh, I've always said Noah Miller has a better glove than he does.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh yeah.
and um, but his bat is just as bad.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I
if
think
not,
Freddie got a way better potential batting wise
yeah.
than Miller. Um, let's see. I like what Richie has this to say, and I agree completely. Right, no, right now for sure. It has to be better. Expect, I think tomorrow, Dalton Rushing will be catching tomorrow for sure. Will Smith
Mhm.
played all 3 games this weekend. Um, and so 4-game series in Colorado. I actually expect him all. I would. So they have a night game tomorrow, and then Thursday it's a day game. I expect Rushing to catch both of those.
Doc said they're going to do go 2-2.
Yeah, that's what I would expect, and then
Hmm.
Will catch the Tuesday and Wednesday. So we'll get back to some of these other things in a minute because I love talking prospects, but I want to go back to, and I put it as a concern, my huge concern about going to Denver, because this is the history. So, and this happens to every team. This isn't just the Dodgers.
Yeah.
You fly into Colorado, and all of a sudden, some people ain't doing as good as they normally do. Now, I've never been there other than at the airport, so I have not experienced that. But we've seen this stuff happen. And they get there in the first game, they're crap, especially when they didn't have a day off before the game, before the game on the first game in Colorado. So the first game they're not good because they're just not there. Now, fortunately, Colorado just in general isn't good.
Hmm.
So we got that going for us. So we that gives us some hope there. But then there's the other part where they play a day game on Thursday. They fly into San Diego. They probably fly into LA and then take a bus down to San Diego down here with me, and and then they have to readjust back. And so that first game, that Friday game, I'm just not expecting much from the Dodgers. They will send, I think the pitcher is going to be Snell again on Friday. They're going to send his butt out early. So he'll be there early. Maybe they'll even send Smith out there, just to get him out of there and let Rushing go and can't let Kike catch because he can't play yet. But um, I don't. I just think that it's just that, and of course, Oscar says it well. It is the devil's playground. It just is what it is. You never know what's going to happen. No lead is safe. Um, I was just taking a quick look at how the Rockies have been doing. They traded a lot a lot of their bullpen guys are gone.
Well, they swept the Diamondbacks
Yeah,
in their
yeah, they've won
series.
3 in a row.
And the thing about altitude, because I
Yeah.
have a lot of experience with altitude,
Mm,
with my previous job. I've been to Colorado, I've been to
mm,
Wyoming, I've been to Montana, a lot of high altitude stuff. Your performance, no matter what, lacks until you make the adjustment to the altitude. And
mm.
that could take up to, you know, it, if you're an athlete, you're in peak shape. If you were in the job that I was, you're in really high peak shape. So it should only take like a day to really make the adjustment. Coming down from altitude, going back into down to sea level is not that big of an adjustment. It actually helps you out quite a bit more. So I think that's why you see the players when they go to Colorado is the altitude, especially with the pitchers because you're not getting the spin and the break on it because the air is so thin and it's not as heavy, and the ball doesn't react that well,
Right.
in high altitude. The only time that the ball reacts is when it comes off the bat and it travels farther,
Yeah.
because it's thinner air again and it's not as thick, and it moves pretty fast. So yeah, I'm a little concerned. I'm not. I don't want to say concerned. You know, I don't think they're going to have any big problems in Colorado. Honestly, I think they're on a roll, and they're going to go in there, and I'm not going to be surprised if they win all 4 games.
That'd be awesome. So they're not doing any bullpen games. It's Yamamoto, Sheehan, Ohtani, and Kershaw. And I also just want to lay out remember these games in terms of judging pitchers. You can't judge them on these games.
Mm-mm.
I don't care what happens because like Mike just said, the ball there's less resistance, so the curves don't curve as much.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that's just the way it is, and so they're gonna have to keep working on it. I'm just concerned that but that's probably why Bobby Miller hasn't pitched, because he may need to get an inning or two out of him over the next 4 games. And because some of our guys, oh boy, we're just looking at that staff. Robleski should be ready to go if there's some long work that needs to be done. I mean, he last pitched on Wednesday. I actually thought he might end up closing the game if Vesia couldn't get it done, or if they wouldn't have done an up down with him. He was like him. I think he was all that was really left of the bullpen. There was like maybe one other guy, I can't remember. Oh, it was Edgardo, but he had just thrown a bunch yesterday. Yesterday. So I just think, those are my big concerns. They should take 3 or 4. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
If they get out at 2 of 2, I'm gonna be okay. As long as they go knock off them Padres. Padres play the Giants. The Giants have rolled over. They're just not good. But they do have Robbie Ray going tomorrow. Yeah, I don't want to bring. I want to bring it up just and I left it off of Twitter just because. But I'm just gonna say it here. Dylan Cease, man, that dude's weak. You see, I mean, he's got amazing stuff, and he choked yesterday.
Yeah.
That was playoff Dylan Cease, and then you see him after those every pitch, where that would go 2 feet outside or whatever, he was stomping around and all that stuff. He's in his own head, and that is a guy that the Padres cannot trust. Darvish, he settled down, but the Dodgers do that. They'll go punch someone in the face, get 3 or 4 or 5 runs in a first inning, and then lay down for the rest of the game and not do anything else. So, I mean, if I'm the Padres, I'm not too jazzed up about Darvish having a solid another ending with 3 more innings that were decent. So I'm seeing a lot of people talking about trades in the thing. I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to throw this out there. Bo Bichette is a free agent, and
next year,
and he plays shortstop next year. I'm just throwing that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Hurt, yes, next year. Also, maybe this year. He is throwing. No, not at all.
Mm-mm.
I thought he's already throwing.
He's throwing, and he'll be going back to. We will not see him this year. But he's going to be throwing with Oklahoma.
Okay, no, but still,
yeah.
If he's throwing with OKC, I mean, let's be honest. I mean,
I thought you meant coming back to the Dodgers. He won't be back with the Dodgers this year.
I mean, if he's a better alternative now, I'm hoping he's not an alternative, and that's because I want Tanner Scott to be good again. Because you mentioned about Blake Snell, giving up walks, and being okay with it. I want Tanner Scott to go back to what he was and walk more guys instead of throwing the ball down the freaking middle. I don't know who put that in his head to change. It's probably the Dodgers tinker. Why mess with success? But they still do. Maybe that's what they've done with Alex Call. They get in there and they go, "Oh, we got to improve you." Just let the guys do their thing and go from there. But hopefully Tanner Scott can be back. Kirby Yates, he's old. I mean, that's like, like I'm old. Who am I calling old? But he's old, But we don't need him. I think the Dodgers used him way too much at the beginning of the season. He was in 50% of the games. It was, and I understand, but wait, is that all Dodgers? Clint, you in the show?
Yeah.
Hey, grab a link if you want to come on in, my man. I sent you the email. Um, I don't know. I want that bullpen to be better though.
I yeah, I think the bullpen's going to be better, and I think the mentality of the bullpen, like I said already, it's going to go back to last year, and and be a bullpen that's going to be relied upon. I think Tanner Scott goes back to what he was. I think it was, in my personal opinion, I think it might be, a combination of what the Dodgers were telling him and what he's trying to prove,
Mm,
instead of him trying to, just go out there and be the pitcher that they signed him for.
yeah.
So I think he's in a little bit of his own head, um, and I honestly think we'll see a better Tanner Scott. I think Kirby Yates is going to come back and he's going to do really good also. So
And oh, Clint's got to make late dinner. Yeah, Clint, I'm gonna be not available starting like Wednesday, but for a bit. Um, the Blake Trinan starting to look better. It's coming.
mhm.
It was because we saw Dave. Hey, let's throw the guy that's been out of the major league since April or May. Let's throw him right into the ninth inning. But it's now he's starting to be that witch. With the video game stuff and landing it. There's still a couple 3-0 counts today, but he kind of owns some of those guys. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
these
I'm
and
not worried about Blake Triton.
yeah, he'll
Not
be
at all.
fine. It's just like, oh man, don't blow him now. But I mean, he was obviously one of the most valuable guys last year in last year's bullpen. I think he was their most valuable pitcher,
Hmm.
um, and that's saying a lot considering what Yoshinobu did, and even Walker. But he saved the day, and he freaking heroic. You know, flat put that American Eagle, American flag, thing we see whenever Blake does well and people throw him out there. Let's see. Why not call up Gauthier?
No way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I love Austin, man. His, I don't know. I think he might be on that Ryan Ward bandwagon. I mean, coming up anyway, but yeah, speaking of Ryan Ward, I just got screwed, man. I just
He got hosed pretty hard. Pretty hard. He's been hosed worse than Lipsius,
yeah,
in
and
last
Lipsy is
year.
only with the team for a year.
Yeah.
Ward's this is his third year here at AAA now, and been with the organization since 2019. I think was when he was drafted. So it'll be good for him to leave, and
Hmm.
thank goodness for that. But it's still going to be a rough market out there. Any updates on River Ryan? He's getting closer, but don't expect him this year. But it was mentioned earlier, River Ryan, you know, contending for a rotation spot next year. I mean, River Ryan last year when he did come up, it was only what
Hmm.
5 starts. He was really good. That
Oh
guy,
yeah.
that guy is legit. Um, we'll see what happens with him. I think you take your time. You've got the future is now.
Well,
Um,
and that comes into play, of what's going to happen after next year. You got River Ryan, you got Kyle Hurts. Not going to be a starter. He's going to be in the reliever portion of it. And then you have
Gavin, Gavin,
yeah, Gavin Stone.
yep.
Who's coming back. They're all going to be on rehabbing and throwing. They're actually throwing. All of them have been throwing in Arizona. already. I think Kyle Hurt is, ahead of all the rest, so that's why he's going to be sent over to OKC. I think within the next 2 or 3 weeks,
Okay.
we could probably see him. Gavin Stone, I don't think we see them come out of Arizona until next year. Him and River Ryan, and then they'll go and they'll do their rehab starts with Oklahoma or whoever they're going to go and rehab with, and then probably see them maybe July, depending on how their rehab goes. But say they come back and they look better than than when they were before they got hurt. Then what happens?
Yeah, and Stone's injury, he wasn't Tommy John, it was a shoulder, and I don't know what the whole deal was, but it was the whole year. It cost him the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
Same time, the guy did prove that he is a real legit major league starter. Number 2, number 3 caliber type guy. If you get him back, and he's still young now, River Ryan's a little older, but there's so much there, and his arm's pretty fresh. I mean, I know the Tommy John, some of that is just because these guys go from playing shortstop to doing something, all of a sudden getting into pitching. The Dodgers try to baby it. It doesn't matter. They did it with Gonsolin. He broke. Well, Gonsolin's mechanics are absolutely awful.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no surprise there. I feel terribly bad for the guy. Let's see. Okay, Richie. Let's address this one. We already talked. So shortstop, it could be Bo Bichette.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to lie about that. Any chance we find a real live left fielder? We will not have Michael Conforto next year as a left fielder. It's a 1-year contract. I think Teo goes back to left. I would think maybe. I mean, gosh, his best spot is DH, or maybe they trade him. They could trade him. Who knows? But Pajes is our lock in the outfield. Betts could go to second. We also have Hae-Sung Kim coming back. Hopefully this year, but also next year. I think there's a lot of options. I like the idea of leaving left field left field kind of open. Oh, No Name gives a super chat. All right, thank you. But you leave that spot open and see what happens, and then you can rotate people in there, and you just leave room for people to earn some playing time, possibly. But if you can get a big name, great. That's great. But Conforto wasn't that name, and I wasn't against the signing. It was just kind of weird that they did it when they did it. But maybe you know what? I can guarantee you there was someone else willing to give him $17 million also. I mean, the guy last year with the Giants was really good on the road, and well over 300 on the road. He hit really well against lefties and stuff. It was just in San Francisco where he didn't hit well, and I was surprised anyone that he's doing so bad, but he's been there. That guy hit 2 home runs in a World Series game. I know it's 2015, but we know he can handle the big stage. Again, maybe they got into his head too much about, hey, you need to change this, you need to change that, and just these nerds need to stop tinkering. Just let these guys who are already doing well, let them keep doing what they're doing. You can start looking and going, oh, you're trending. We're starting to see they're getting you with a certain pitch, so we need to make some adjustments. I just don't. I just wish they would stop doing tinkering on players that are already good, and let them. If the players come and go, hey, let's work on some stuff. Okay, that's fine. But it just seems like they just tinker so much because they think they're and they are smart. I'm not lying. I'm not putting that down, but I look at I'm going to give some props to the Padres. Their pitching development right now is better than Dodgers at the major league level. They keep churning. I mean, before these trades, they still were churning out bullpen arms like crazy. They turned Suarez into a dude. They've got that Estrada dude. They turned into a dude. Their bench is better than our bench by far. They keep finding, like, Gavin Sheets came in and gave them 4 really good months. I mean, the Dodgers used to be the ones that did that. We would go get Muncy. We would go get Chris Taylor. But where's that last guy off the scrap heap that came in and started, killing it from the bench? Instead, we got a guy like Alex Call come in and, is down to, well, he's hitting like 100 with the 111 or something like that with the Dodgers over in August. So I'm just, they definitely turned Evan Phillips into something really good. Probably the sacrifice of his arm, but I bet he'd probably make that trade because he was going to not be a Major League Baseball player the way he was going. But I just think that there's I got to give Padres credit. They've done really well at finding even the clown Profar. Well, he probably had some help, but they got a really good season out of that clown. So I think they've been doing it with trading all the minor leaguers. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, all of them. It's just amazing what they've done. They've done a good job with developing. So I'm going to go. The Dodgers, I think, are not that team anymore. We go, oh, they're so good at reclamation and stuff like that. I think I don't know. Just think they're not what they used to be in that way.
I agree with that. Especially, watching as much minor league baseball as I watch, I mean, there are some pitchers that are developing well, with Rancho and with Great Lakes. Uh, it just seems like Oklahoma is just, the pitching wise is just not like it was.
Yeah.
It seems like they've kind of fell off, and some of it has to do, with the call ups, every single year.
Yeah.
When they lose everybody, and and there's just really not a whole lot of consistency there. But I don't know. I agree with that. I like the Padres, on how they develop pitchers, and we do a pretty decent job with it.
Mhm.
Um, but it seems like with these all reclamation projects, that have come in, they haven't really worked out that well.
Yeah.
The last few that have come in, and it just seems like, the thing that gets to me is, why are we always going after pitchers that are broke?
I know.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
No
don't
more.
I don't understand that.
Yeah. No more. Or they come here and they get broke. Like Snell wasn't broke, but he broke. Um, I mean, I think the top organizations right now developing pitching, clearly Milwaukee and Houston. Those teams, they churn out the pitching without the money. Um, the Miz dude, I think it was a second rounder. I mean, they're going and getting guys. And that's what I expect the Dodgers to doing. Now at the same time, the Dodgers they did bring a lot of guys along who came up pretty quick with Sheehan and Stone. Ryan started to come out. A lot of really good guys, but they all went down. So that's probably there's also a little bit of OKC gap there just because
Mhm.
Kyle Hurt, of course. Those four guys right there going down, then Frosso being down and rehabbing. So those are kind of like five of their top prospects and pitching wise that did go down. Okay, yeah, the Reds developed that Burns got Burns. That Burns kid just went on the IL.
Mhm.
Um, Chase, that's right, Chase Burns. Yeah, dude throws gas, but his ERA is 5. And that's remember Driveline was with the Reds for a while. Now there's 2 camps on Driveline. There's the Driveline people who go, oh, we're doing so well, and then there's like the pain guy going, you guys are breaking guys. There's always a price to pay, and there's always a price to pay for stuff.
It's just crazy to me, watching baseball for as long as we have, and you see a Pedro Martinez and
Yeah.
these flamethrowers, back in the day, they're pitching like 9 innings, and still throwing 90 to 100 miles an hour. The Randy Johnsons, those guys weren't getting hurt.
Yeah. Well, they really weren't throwing 100. They were throwing the low 90s, maybe mid sometimes, but they would also not throw it. They would bring it even, Verlander was the king of this.
Mhm.
92, 93, 92, 93. Okay, 7th inning, I got 2 on. I need to strike out 97. Here it comes. They would be looking at that stuff. But then again, the hitters were geared to go, hey, get on base, get singles, hit line drives, hit line drive. Now it's just like, no, we want home runs. That's what they want, is home runs.
Yeah,
And these guys are monsters at the plate. But they do strike out a lot too. So
they do.
yeah, there's people talking about Dustin May had an excellent game today. I understand the Dustin May trade. I look back at the trade deadline. I said the Dodgers need to net 3 new pitchers. They netted 0. Even though they got Brock, they gave up Dustin May, who is a major league pitcher. And now he wouldn't have been in the Dodger rotation.
No.
That was clear. They did it. They traded him because the Dodgers actually have some heart. And they've done this they did that with Chicken Strip. And they did it with Mitchell White. They go, hey, and even kind of with Walker, they let him go after they signed Blake Snell because they kind of knew what that meant. And so they let Dustin May get traded. They traded him. They did get some pretty darn happy with the prospects they got. But I would have loved Dustin May in the bullpen, but at the same, that would have cost him millions of dollars. And so that's why they did it.
I think it's good for him. Good change of scenery for him, a new beginning for him. To build his reputation, and to actually, go to a team to where he's hopefully going to spend all of next year with that team and not be on the injured list. Like he's been with the Dodgers. Every single year he's been on the injured list,
Except this year.
Except this year.
Yeah.
And this
Good for
was,
him.
he's had some signs of being a dominant pitcher, and then he's had a lot of signs of, being really inconsistent, and I think going over to the Red Sox, his focus is going to be there a lot more. He doesn't have the pressure like he probably had, playing with the Dodgers, that he has over in Boston. So
yeah, he's had one really bad start and one really good start.
Mhm.
I think that's they said he had a good one today. He didn't. It was crochet today. So I just looked it up.
I think it was yesterday he had a good
Okay,
yeah.
I'll look that up. No, and all the best to Dustin May. I remember being at his debut.
Mhm.
I think it was like a Dodger Twitter get together, Dodgers Nation night. We all got together. I was gonna take a quick look at what he did last night. No, he didn't pitch last night either. I know it was Wednesday against the Astros or something like that. But he needed the change of scenery just to be able to go and earn his money.
Mhm.
And I think, for us as prospect nerds, we want these guys to make their money because we realize, first of all, how much they don't make now. They're putting everything into their career,
Mhm.
and that career is going to be over. And the best hope of them making money is dragging out the coaching, jacket, get the coaching bucket out and try to create a travel team after you've only played up to AA, or you had a cup of coffee in the show. That's what the future is. Or some of them, or hope, man, I have to go back to college. But some of these guys, they got their bonus, and
Mhm.
that's all they've got, and that's probably gone by now because government took half of it already, especially if you're in California. Or
Right?
yeah, man. So yeah, I want Dustin May to get all he can. I mean, a lot of talent. He's I know he got a World Series ring for last year. He didn't play, but he got one. But he was a key factor in 2020. and made Manny Machado look silly a few times. So those will live on forever on the X. See, people are going. I'm just a lot of good chat today.
Dang, man, these guys are going off about the
going at
Paula and
it.
Hope and
Let's see
yeah.
for the postseason. Okay, Richard says it. All right, I think this is true. Nobody in the NL scares me. The only thing stopping the Dodgers is themselves. Period.
So that's a fact right there. I
Could
mean,
not agree more.
you look at the season right now and on paper and everything that we've expected, this team still has not played to the potential that they could be, because of, injuries and, people that are out and, whatever. I mean, we have yet to see, except for the first, few weeks, month of a full team,
Mm-hmm.
healthy together.
Yeah.
It's been piecemeal, just like last year.
Yep. Yeah. And but actually, I think at this point in the season, compared to last year, they're actually healthier. And I think that's. I mean, in the potential for more health is better than last year.
Yes, I would agree with that. But like right now, our pitching is what our offense was last year. Right
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
our pitching was not. All we had was Flaherty, Yamamoto, and basically it. You
Yep.
know, and the offense carried.
Mm-hmm.
Now that the offense has been struggling with Mookie Betts and Freeman, and Will Smith has been the only consistent bat, on the lineup, basically all year long. Um, Teoscar being injured, Muncy being injured, Edmund, being injured, Kiki Hernandez, is injured.
Mm-hmm.
The offense is what the pitching was last year. So the pitching has been, kind of carrying the team this year, which is good to see, and I just like to see all the pieces come together, which I think that we will see, come August, September, October time, way more than what it was last year.
Oh, yeah. And they are on a 6-man rotation, which is
Yes.
so awesome. I mean, Ohtani now is, he's going to be 4 or 5 inning guy. That's fine. Robleski will come in and capture some of that that long relief. And the bullpens only get better, and some guys will get sent down. Still think Diaz has a couple options left for this year. Edgardo does. I'm a believer in Edgardo. I hope somehow he can make his way onto the playoff rotation or playoff bullpen again and stay on it all the way through. It was good that he got his feet wet last year. It was good that Ben Kasparias did. Robleski didn't. I wish he would have. I don't know how many. Robleski cannot have too many more options left for this year. It's a limit of 5 times they can get resent down or something like that. So I'm a little nervous about that. But they're not going to do something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna figure that one out. And yeah, so I like the position that they are in. Find a way to stay healthy. The 6-man rotation will help that. And if they can go, because last year gosh darn it, man, last year we were going into these playoff things knowing that they had to throw bullpen games all the time.
Yep.
We start, and I love Ben Kasparias, man, friend of the show. I've known that guy since 2022. Ben Kasparias started Game 4 of the 2024 World Series. Oh my gosh! And it was part of a bullpen game. Freaking Brent Honeywell picked up through 55 pitches in 1 inning, and threw significant innings
Mm-hmm.
against the Mets to help save that team. So for what they did last year, that was amazing. I think it would be almost impossible to repeat that because there was a little bit of luck in there.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, Huddy was done. I mean,
Mhm.
I saw his wife freaking out during Game 5. I was over there by the Wags because that was where the security people were, and I was like, you know what, we're gonna hang out with security people. And Huddy's wife was freaking out because she knew it. She knew that he had nothing left, and if he would have gone out there, might have lost the game.
Mhm.
And so she was freaking out. And man, I stopped. I prayed for her, man. I really did. I just stopped and prayed for her. I felt so bad for her. And boy, talk about a relieved woman. And yeah, God bless Daniel Hudson, man. He was healthy almost all last year. He gave it all. He
Got
gave
his ring.
he got a second ring, by the way.
Yeah.
Remember, got one with Washington. But that was he was such an important part of the team last year. And get those dogs together. Got some new dogs in there like Jack Dreyer, who got the big save the other night. Did he get two
Mhm.
in a row? Did he get two in a row?
I don't know.
I'm thinking he did. What? No, he didn't. No, there was no save yesterday. That's right. But he did pitch yesterday, and he got the save on Friday. Man, Dylan Cease, man. He had 4 walks in 1 inning, and the Padres got 3 guys thrown out in the first 2 innings. Will Smith got the same amount of outs that Blake Snell did in the first 2 innings. My God, that was really bad. I don't know if the Padre guys are going on their own. I don't think they're all going on their own.
Obviously, they had a game plan.
Whew.
They were gonna be running on Snell, so
Yeah.
it just didn't work out for him.
No. I actually, speaking of running on their own, I wish Shohei would stop running on his own. He's making some
Mhm.
really bad decisions out there, including, he did get thrown out at third. Uh,
Yep.
he's not. I don't. I don't think he's that good of a base runner in terms of mentally like that. Then again, he's no Andy Pajes, which we definitely don't want Andy Pajes. He should never go on his own.
I'm I'll just go out and say it, I'm not sold on him as a pitcher right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm well, to put it this way, I'm sold on him being good for 4 innings. And I think that's pretty darn good if you get, because again, they're 3 innings in terms of your roster.
Yeah.
Because he has,
I'm gonna count on him more next year,
yeah,
than I'm gonna be counting on him this year.
yeah.
So
I would, and that's where I think Kirsch really could fit in. In that, if in terms of getting starts. I mean, if it's between Sheehan and Kirsch, I'm going with Kirsch. I mean, Sheehan's been very shaky this year. He's been off and on. I
Mhm.
think he's still recovering. He's still getting
Mhm.
it back. He's had some real good ones. He's had some good, like, well, that's a lot of pitches in 4 innings, dude. But I think part of it's just finding it back. And so, I think Kershaw very well could be the 4th guy, but they
Yeah.
would probably less. I still think they would start Shohei because it just makes a lot of sense in terms of if he's in the bullpen, it doesn't
Oh,
work very well.
no, they're gonna start him. No,
Yeah,
no matter what. I mean, he's the
yeah,
franchise. He's what's gonna sell tickets, and he's what's gonna put butts in the seat, and the ratings are gonna go way up. When he's on the mound, and
yeah. Oh man,
there's no doubt about it. It's just you know, I guess I'm like I'd like him as a pitcher. I've always liked him as a pitcher. He's done very well.
yeah, yeah,
When he had his first Tommy John, he didn't have a very good comeback.
yeah.
It was horrible. So I just, you know, I th- I think their approach with him right now is good. But I do agree with you. Maybe 4, maybe 5 innings at the most.
Max.
Um, but look at his last couple of starts that he had. You know,
Right.
um, it, it wasn't. They weren't like his first when everybody was all, gung ho and excited. He kind of struggled a little bit. His command was off a little bit, and
Angels got to him.
yeah, so you
Then
know,
again, the Angels, they played over their head. Then I think they went and got swept by the A's or something like that.
but But I honestly think, with the competitor, and, and the athlete that he is, you know, um, would he be somebody that I would trusted, for a deciding game to start? Yeah, because he's going to go out there and he's going to shove and he's going to, take it to another level.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and that is the thing about Shohei. Well, and I'm going to say this about our top 4 Dodger starters. They all have, when they're on, they are the best, as good as anybody in the game. But I do think Shohei, if you go, I think if he was just a pitcher, I think he could be the best pitcher in the game. But we've seen Yamamoto already. I mean, he threw a one-hitter against the Yankees in 6 innings. We've seen Blake Snell be absolutely untouchable
mhm.
at time. He's still going, hey, it's still my first half, so we need to get him to get feeling like it's second half. And but we know, Glasnow, he has been, sometimes he just starts losing the strike zone.
Mhm.
Um, but other than that, he's been really good. Other than that, I'm still mm, they just have to manage that better.
See, I, I've been watching Yamamoto for a while,
Mhm.
and I trust the guy.
Mhm.
I am not scared, with him. I don't not get nervous when he takes the mound. Um, I know the first inning, even when he was in the MPB, he had some struggles in the first inning,
Yeah.
and then he just turns it around and and buckles down and just and throws.
Mhm.
So I'm never worried about Yamamoto. The only thing I've been worried about is how much he's been used already this year,
Yeah.
and the way that they've, you know, had him on a 6 game rotation and then they put him down to 5, and then they're going to move him again, and uh, he's just been, all these pitchers that come from the MPB, it's
Mhm.
6 days rest,
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah. And when Yam was on that pattern, he was the best pitcher in baseball. He was on a Cy Young track.
Hmm.
He was awesome. I mean, every Friday, it's like, here's your man, Friday night pitcher. Here he goes, and he was the guy. And yeah,
Then they switch him.
they switched it around. Well, we need guys. Too bad. You don't touch things that are working really well.
Hmm.
And yeah, it kind of got him off track. But and he's had that one start in Milwaukee, man. Some bad luck here and there, and then all of a sudden he didn't even finish the freaking inning.
You know, uh,
Like, oh my gosh, it just wasn't his day.
no, and not everybody's going to come out,
Right.
and just have the be lights out every single game. That's almost impossible.
Yeah. Oh, I completely agree. I think one of the things about Yamamoto though is and we saw this in the postseason, and you've seen it way more than anyone else has. But the moment doesn't get to him.
Mm-mm.
The only time there's one time it did. His first start
Mhm.
in Korea against the Padres. For
Mhm.
some reason, and then the Padres kind of owned him until game 5. And then Yamamoto against one of his heroes, I'm sure. You see him and bowing to Darvish out there. Um, but Yamamoto proved that he's the man. And when the big light's on, he doesn't shrink. A lot of
No.
guys do. That's why, it doesn't mean he just gets better. It just means no, he can lock in and not everyone can.
Mhm.
And he's one of those guys that can lock in. I'm not sure Glasnow can. I do know that Snell can,
Yeah.
and we've already seen what old Shohei can do. In the WBC, uh,
Yeah.
and to him that means more than the World Series, than anything. Oh, here you go. This is right up your alley. How are the arm injuries in the NPB versus the MLB?
They don't I mean, they have injuries, but not to the extent, that the MLB does. They basically have a rotation. It's almost every pitcher pitches on a 6-day rotation. So they're not, up and down and over here. And, I mean, Yamamoto was throwing, well over 100 pitches almost every game,
Mhm.
when he was there. So, I mean, it's different there. They don't, they're more, pinpoint, they're more accurate. You don't see the 100-mile-an-hour, fastball. The hitters aren't there in the major leagues, and so that's why the adjustment needs to happen, um, for these guys that are coming over. Actually, I was like, uh, really surprised on, um, Imanaga, on how well he did, but he did kind of regress a little bit, and so because Imanaga, got pounded in the NPB. He gave up a lot of home runs, and
Yeah.
um, you know,
That was the big concern. I remember talking to Doug about that quite a bit. He was, 2 home runs per 9.
mhm.
Oh, want to welcome Noah Ortega. Good to see you, my man.
So it's
I met
different,
Noah in
and
person, so props to
y-
Noah.
and they do have injuries, but not to the extent, that the major leagues has.
Yeah,
I mean, look at Sasaki. He came over again. Another pitcher that comes to the Dodgers hurt.
yeah, he was
Um,
already hurt.
he was already hurt. He regressed pretty heavily. From his 2023 season.
Right.
So 2024 was not a good year for him. So it was, it's different. And that's the thing about you know, Sasaki and everybody like going, "Oh, we need him back." I don't think he's going to
Don't
be
count on him.
back.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I'm not counting on him. I mean,
You know.
it would be. Hey, you know what? If he can make a late September start to rest an arm for the playoffs, great. But um, I still look at him as a prospect. I don't look at him. I look at him as a guy that go, hey, next year after, he's 23, maybe 24 now. This is a guy that all of a sudden we were able to get one of the, when teams would rate him, he was all of a sudden the number one prospect in baseball. So, there to get a guy like that for what, $7 million or whatever they paid for him. That's all it was. He was on a minor league deal. He makes minimum wage. He's got his bonus, and he's in a place where hopefully he can really grow.
Mhm.
And I think part of it is you see him and you don't think he's big, but we've seen him up close, and we know he's 6'4". He's a
Yeah,
he's a
he's a
big kid,
mhm.
but I still see some gangliness and stuff like that, and so there's probably still some more muscle he can gain.
Oh, he's bulked up
Yeah.
since he's been hurt.
Oh, very good. That's good.
So he's
Yeah.
definitely added some muscle.
Okay.
Um, you know, and his start with Oklahoma was okay.
Yeah.
Um,
They weren't hitting
but
the ball hard. I mean,
no, it was a lot of soft contact.
yeah.
He had like one hard hit, baseball,
Yeah.
that came off the bat. Everything else was pretty soft, and his command was more of an issue than the bat to ball contact.
Yeah.
Um,
And we'd expect that too,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's a
So actually, Showtime, no, I do not see Murakami coming to the Dodgers. I don't think the Dodgers are going to give up on Max Muncy. I think they pick him over Murakami.
and Murakami, they're just more I'm reading. Bad third baseman, not even very good first baseman. So,
Mhm.
so, I've kind of had enough with bad defense. I don't want to get any more of those guys. I mean, our corner outfielders, Teo's the worst in right, and Conforto's third from worst in left, and it shows. I'm kind of done with getting bad defense. I don't want any more guys like that. If you're not a good defender, good night now. I mean, I see Muncy at second next year. And he's, hey, Mookie's props to Mookie, and props to Mookie, man. He's back on the bat. He's hitting again, and for him to just crush the crap out of that ball today, that doesn't happen 3 weeks ago.
No.
He pops up to right field probably with that. Or no, not to right field. Sorry, second base. So Mookie's back. It's really good to see.
It's the hope he's back.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. But
he's trending in that. He's trending on that track.
yeah,
You know, and I'm hoping that we don't see the the Mookie and Freddie of 2023. In the World Series or
yeah,
in the playoffs.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
hoping
and
they.
we know that the one of the things that could do that if there's injury and there's of course just being tired.
Mhm.
I think Freddie's starting to show good signs. He's still, you still see some things you're going, kind of not liking some of that, but it looks like now the move, at least when Will is in the lineup, lefties or righties, Will's third now, and Freddie's fourth, which is fine.
Mhm.
Really, again, Muncy really completes that lineup, but we may not. I'm kind of going. I'm not counting on him being back.
Muncy?
Yeah, I hope he is.
I think
But
we see him for the playoffs.
I hope so. I just don't believe, the Dodgers.
Mm. And one thing, Richard Flores, um, I don't see Sasaki being in OKC next year. I wish they would have put him there this year.
Yeah, they bought too much into that. We got to get him in Japan,
Yeah.
and that didn't help him at all.
I don't mind him going to Japan, and going and pitching in front of, his native country. But when they got back, I think they should have just, put him in Oklahoma and let him pitch in Oklahoma
Yeah,
for the year. I didn't think I've always thought, when the Dodgers signed him, I never thought that he was actually going to finish out the year. I thought he was going to go back on the injured list, which he did because when he was with Chibalote, they never really disclosed on his injury
right.
pretty heavily, and they kind of just like milked it. And so I knew that I kind of had a suspicion that he was kind of broken when he came over, and I didn't think that he was going to last. That's why I wish they would have just put
Yeah,
him down in Oklahoma, refined his skills, find out what's really wrong. I don't know if it's the elbow, or if it's the shoulder. They've never really disclosed pretty heavily on what it is, with this throwing arm. His statement of, I just want to go to a team that can fix my fastball. You know, you got to fix your arm first before you can fix your fastball.
right. So hepatitis C later. Do you guys think they are lying about his health? Oh, the answer is: are the Dodgers lying about health? Is always yes. Okay, right up your alley.
He's good. He's good.
Another Dodger.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's all going to be, a little bit different. God, for some reason I'm drawing a blank on the guy who I was really high on last year.
Mm.
Um, he didn't have such a great year this year. And he was the next, Yamamoto. So we'll see. He's a young kid also.
Mm.
We'll see how he bounces back next year. Because he does have this, he does have the stuff as Yoshinobu. And he is actually mentored by Yoshinobu also.
Mm.
I d- I kind of see him bouncing back, and I think after next season he's eligible. I
Okay.
could be wrong on that, but this year he didn't have like a great year. Yeah, but Yamashita he's definitely a really good pitcher. I agree with that.
And there was some stuff in the previous earlier. And I think it was a really good point. With the Dodgers and with Roki is that the Dodgers weren't counting on him being an ace.
No,
And the Padres were like, and the Padre fans especially were like, oh, this is the guy, we're going to get him because of Darvish. and on all that stuff. And they're going to need, we've seen them with Michael King being out. Oh my gosh. I got to admit, so Padres, I get stuck watching the Padre feed when they play the Dodgers. I actually had to buy the Padre package to watch these games. They have a little funny little video for Michael King's bobblehead. It's just clever. It's just clever because King, so he's the king.
Yeah.
It was just clever. And I another thing, I gotta admit this. I think I've become a fan of Arias. I think that guy seems like a really good dude. He's always smiling. He's always friendly with the dudes. He doesn't seem to have the Padre jerk attitude, or just being a clown.
Mhm.
Machado's got his, quote, leadership. And then we got, Fernando Tatis, just Mr. Clown. Ryan just seems like a good dude.
Mhm.
It's just too bad he can't play someplace other than first base because, could you if he was like could actually play second base, he'd be like the ultimate number 9 hitter because he just
Mhm.
causes havoc. But he just seems like a good guy. So I don't hate every Padre. I don't even hate any of them, but I just want to laugh at a lot of them. But he seems like a decent dude. Yeah, just throwing that. Just saying that there. Yeah,
Yeah.
King has a mutual. They have a mutual option. He's got so that dude is like 29, 30 years old. He's going to be a free agent. He has big decisions to make because his health has been bad this year. But if he somehow has a good postseason, even though I know he was really good last year, but the Dodgers started to get to him a bit.
Mhm.
That game 4, it was game 3. It was game 3 when the Dodgers had that 6-run thing because Miggy couldn't play defense anymore. Just bad defense there on the Dodgers part, 6-0. But Dodgers chipped away, got 5 runs off of him. I think they were starting to solve that dude.
Mhm.
And his mechanics are, because he's really a crossbody guy, and that's a lot of strain on the whole body. So, yeah. Tatis has at least 9 babies. I know of it. There's at least 3. There's at least 3. So he's on the Sean Kemp path. Um, I hope Merrill doesn't get affected by the Padre culture. But all I know is Jackson Merrill dropped that ball yesterday. Thank you very much.
Thanks for that.
Oh man. Yeah, let's see. Noah Ortega's talking about Arias. Yeah, he just seems like a good guy. And so I want to always go play the game well, go do good things out there, hustle. You see that guy hustling,
Mhm.
stealing bases, even though he runs kind of goofy. He's not really that fast, but he stole 2 bases just because he's smart. So I respect guys that play good baseball. I also don't respect when the Dodgers let Arias steal third base because everyone's got their thumb up their butt. Where's the vocal, right? Hey, step off. Hey, he's going. I mean, our great new third baseman, Buddy Kennedy, I don't think he knew because he didn't move. Then
I
again,
didn't even know who that guy was.
yeah, that's part of being the new guy. Yeah, I mean, he's just filler in to make sure that Miggy Rowe doesn't play every game, which is fine. I actually am become I become even more of a Miggy Rowe fan this year. I mean, I was ready to kick him off the team, but after the first
Really?
months, he's just terrible. I thought he was at least on that list now because they did get rid of Barnes, got rid of Taylor, and I thought Miggy might be on that list, but that guy started to hit. Um, Good for him. He's back to being just that guy. You go, I could put him at second, I could put him at short, and I can put him at third, and I get above average defense,
Mhm.
and just so much respect for that. That's hard. That's just so hard to do.
Oh,
Uh,
it's somebody who accepted his role, especially at the age that he's in.
yeah,
He's accepted it, and he's helped out Mookie Betts pretty heavily, and he's actually helped out Hae-Sung Kim quite a bit also.
that's right.
When so Mickey Rowe has been I never thought that they were going to get rid of him. Only from what I've seen, during spring training and the times that I've been in the clubhouse, during
Very
the
much.
regular season. Um, I, Barnes, yeah, you know, all the others, yeah, I could see them being traded.
Richard's asking about Chris Taylor getting DFA'd. No, he didn't get DFA'd. He got hurt again. He got hurt twice. Came off the injury list, got hurt again.
Did he get hit by a pitch in the hand or something like that?
Yeah, but I think he got his 10 years. It was in mid-August. I think it's coming up. So he will get his 10 years. I really wanted him to get his 10 years. I don't think Austin Barnes is going to make it because he's still got a year and a half to go. Giants cut him. He was hitting like 135 or something like that. Kind of a bummer for Barnesy. Became a fan of his over the years. Me and my son both didn't like him. We had personal reasons for it. No, we really did. Yeah, I'll tell you offline. But you want to see guys. Guys got 2 rings with the Dodgers, and was really important in 2020 for doing a lot what he did. And he's taught Will a lot. Sometimes you see Will. Oh, okay, back to that really bad Yoshinobu start. Remember Doc was pissed at Will and Yosh because of the pitch stuff. Like, Will's got to do better. I mean, we better watch out, or Dalton's going to be teaching Will Smith how to call pitches or something like that.
Well, I think Will Smith's framing needs work.
Yeah.
He calls a good game. I think his framing just needs to be refined a little bit. Personally,
It's probably too late.
yeah.
But
And
yeah,
that's the difference that you see between him and rushing. When you see rushing back there, you go, oh, I can tell the difference. If you put them both in their gear, and because they're not. Will's a little bit taller than he is, but when they're squatted down, the way that they crouch, you could see the difference on rushing in regards to Will Smith, on how he frames the ball, and he can call just as good a game. So
rushing probably right now is studying so much right now for tomorrow's game. Probably right now, it's probably 2 hours later. That dude's intense in terms of that type of stuff. And Will's the quiet man. We saw that big celebration of his. He went like this like this after the last pitch to win the game last night. There you go. That's all you get.
I don't agree with the ABS is going to wipe out framing because you only get 2 calls.
Yeah.
And if you get them both, if you do your challenges early and they're not right, then you lose ABS for the rest of the game. So framing is going to come into play.
I hope they do more than 2. I think that's a mistake. And at the same time, if I'm doing it, I definitely have strict rules about when you're using it or how you're using it. And if you get it, and first of all, I don't want any pitchers asking for it. It should only be the catcher, and it should only be in a situation where it really, really matters. Like, hey, I got bases loaded in the 4th inning, and it's ball 4, but it should have been strike 3. Hey, okay, do that one.
Well, you see in the triple A's, I mean, they're not calling for, they're not tapping their helmet until if the game's close in the 7th, 8th, 9th inning, then you're starting to see it. In the first part of the game, like the first 3 innings, 4 innings, they're not even coming close to challenging anything.
Yeah.
Unless it's egregious.
Yeah, it has to be egregious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Richard's bringing it up, and this is just a sore spot for me. This is so. I mean, the Dodgers have been getting screwed all year this year.
So before you get started, here's the thing. When you read Richard Flores' comment right there,
yeah,
and this goes to what we just talked. If you have the ABS system in here right now, and almost throughout the whole game, when are you going to allow your pitchers to challenge? When the umpires that have missed
So bad.
that many calls
Oh
in
my
a game.
gosh. Yeah, I mean, someone had a graphic. They missed 6 strikes of Kershaw's in the first inning.
Hmm.
That oh my that guy probably could have thrown a complete game the way with the proper with those proper calls. I mean, because that extends the pitch count and yeah. Oh man, but I this year it just feels like they keep getting worse, and you would think they'd be getting better, but it's really they don't. The umpires don't take care of themselves well enough. They should be going. You know what? Some of these guys, they're not allowed to work the plate. You know,
Yeah.
they're if they want to, I know it's the union, all that stuff, and I understand it, but this is one of those things where this is not merit based right now. And the fact that some of these clowns are going to be in the postseason, I mean, it's going to be awful. And I know that that woman umpire, missed that first call. I get it, but her scores were like, well, shoot, she's just as average, or maybe slightly better than the average. Well, better than some of those dudes. Probably right along the mean there. But we have the technology to be better. I want it to be better. I mean, people like the human element. I'm sorry, that human element cost a guy a perfect game, literally a perfect game. That was awful. And that's because these umpires, they get stubborn. They're human. I've dealt with umpires a lot. I've been one. I've been inside the meetings. I've been inside the training where they say, "Oh, the whole goal is to get things right." And then you get on the field and it's not. It's to protect their reputation. And this is little league. Imagine these egos in Major League Baseball. So I just want, hey, umpiring's hard. I will at least say, I don't know who else has done. I've done the plate many times. I hated every second of it. It's hard. And that's why I'd go. I would have really liked some help. To get, because what is the main thing is to get it right.
Hmm.
It's not to be necessarily good. It's to literally get the call correctly.
Yeah.
So
And to add on to Richard's thing is I see a difference in single A, high A, and double A
mhm.
umpiring. It's a lot different than it is in triple A because that's where they have um, the ABS system that's there. I think the calls are a lot cleaner in triple A than they are in the other minor leagues because they don't have it and they don't have that pressure that they're going to get challenged and possibly look bad. So I think the umpiring um, in AAA is way better than it is in the other leagues. The only qualm that I wish that they would bring to AAA also is the replay system because there's a lot of missed calls in regards to runners being thrown out at second, missed calls at a runner beating out, the throw to first base, a bad tag at third. You know, I'd like to see at least a challenge system get put in there also.
Yeah, that's a lot more cameras, but that you could still have it, and if you don't have enough cameras, you can't
Hmm.
overturn it. But if it's like, hey, this is kind of clear, now do they roll with 4 umpires or three?
Three.
Three. So that's a difference, right?
Mhm.
For sure. And so,
Yeah, the rest of they only have two in
yeah,
double A. So
right. You might get three during the playoffs,
yeah.
in the postseason, but I tell you, yeah, the umpiring is hard. I'm not, so I get it, but they're paid. They're paid to do their job, and there are better because we do see some good ones. You see some of those umpire scorecards. It's like, wait, 3 misses. And those are like right there, you know. You don't see these egregious calls from the top umpires.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to be finding more. Find more. Keep working at it. Get rid of these guys that aren't doing the job. Because and I don't care how many times they get overturned on the bases and stuff, near as much as, even though some of them it's like, wow, that same umpire. It's always Angel Hernandez is getting overturned again because he was bad. He was
Yeah.
just a bad umpire.
Yep.
Yeah, the check swing is one of the most subjective. Yeah, that's a real thing. The check swing's a tough one, but those are easy replays. Those are so easy. You can see it right there. I mean, there was one today. Even I can't remember who it was, but the Padre announcers go, "Oh, we got away with one." Oh, it was on that bunt attempt by Freeman. He went after it. It was clear he went after it. They're like, "Oh gosh, we got away with one." But yeah, those can impact when those happen and stuff. And the Yamamoto getting robbed of an immaculate inning. I mean, that's not near as big as the perfect game, but still, these things matter because it starts adding up. You
Yep.
go, well, if there's enough, you miss a couple. Oh gosh, it might mean another 10 pitches sometimes because of that. I mean, it's got to suck when you did your job and you still don't get it. It's kind of like, a hitter comes up and hits a 110-mile-an-hour rope right at Cronenworth or something like that, which, and it just happens all the time, those line drives, and then you got Arias going and hitting these little pop-ups and getting double, waddling around the bases. But that's baseball in some ways. But yeah, to get rid of some of those things that are just get rid of it, man.
Yep.
Now, I did see a tweet earlier, right before we got on, saying that there's going to be some massive realignment that was talked about at the Manfred said something about that
During the Mets game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you? What have we heard?
I didn't really catch a whole lot of it. I guess he was there, because of the the Little League World Series.
Mm-hmm.
With the game that's going to
Right.
be happening, and he was talking about realignments of West Coast, East Coast baseball, on more West Coast baseball being um, shown together. That'll help out the people over here. So I didn't really get a whole lot of it because it was kind of like it was kind of a short clip.
Yeah.
So I that's the only part that I really caught is they're talking about doing some realignment next year in regards to how games are going to be aired and played.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the real realignment is stop putting games on these other channels that people have to go subscribe to. I
Mhm.
mean, and get rid of the blockouts. Let people pay. I'm willing to pay extra. Just let me pay for it if I have to, but don't block me out. That's just, and I don't care what my cable channel is or something like that. I should be able, you should be able to buy your own team's games. I mean, it's insane to do that. I mean, you want to build your fan base and having people access games. I mean, so I'll go. So I used to watch NASCAR a lot. All right,
Mhm.
and um, with NASCAR, I knew when it was on. I knew what channel it was on. And it was that way for half the season. Then they'd switch it.
Yeah.
Then they got fancy. And it's happened with auto racing all over the place. And it's happening football a little bit, baseball. You got stuff all over the place. And it's like I think people need some type of consistency or at least access. You have to go to take away access to, let's say if the Dodgers and Padres were on Apple TV on Friday night, how many are you taking away from you want eyes on these games because they are good games. Every one of these games, even the 6-0 game, there's still that intensity. There's an extra level. And if you want to show West Coast is the best coast, if you want to show, the Dodgers and the Padres playing their best, you show them playing each other.
Mhm.
And you show the intensity, you show the clownliness, you show like last series when Roberts and Schilt were gonna, have a fight. I do think that, and I told my wife this, in the off season, those two should go, hey, we're gonna go box around for charity. And go get in the ring in, January or something like that, just to get the season, kind of kicking off a little bit, and just go in the ring for one round.
You
Put
know,
headgear on, do all that stuff, and go at it. And I think that would be good in a lot of ways. I mean, I think both those guys probably look back and are a little bit ashamed of their behavior. I know I
yeah,
would.
yeah.
You're in your 50s and you're acting like that. I mean, really. But we all have our moments. I got plenty of things I'm not proud of.
The funny thing is my son-in-law's dad works for Schilt's mom.
Oh, really? Oh,
In
wow. Her
in
mom's
Chicago.
still going kicking, huh? Nice.
In Chicago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, it's probably, but just you make light of it somehow and go, hey, you know what? We're men and we were silly. And no, that's just the way that just we make mistakes, but there's ways to atone for it. That might be a nice little atonement to do. Normally is a huge Buddy Kennedy fan I see here. No, just kidding. Um, he, does, he, he loves trading two Lennon and what's his Eric with a Q Swan for guys who can't hit too. My goodness. Let's see. This is important. About the sports stuff. The things in the regular seasons for the major sports will be through streaming platforms and networks will get the playoffs and World Series. Maybe. I mean, things are changing fast. I mean,
I don't see I don't see cable TV lasting too much longer.
yeah,
And
I don't.
I think everybody's making the adjustment,
Yeah.
slowly making the adjustment to pay. I mean, look at the UFC,
Mhm.
what they just did.
So
Um,
Paramount.
yeah, they went to
Yeah.
Paramount Plus, for the foreseeable future, and I think that's what all sports are going to be going to.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I haven't had cable TV since 2021.
Hmm.
So, and I don't even have like YouTube TV right now. All I just have is streaming services. Now, what I'll do in the playoffs, and I did this last year, I'll find one of them and I'll get a trial. And if the Dodgers make it out of that first round, then I'll keep going. Now, the cool thing was, and I'm not going to say what channel it was, but I did the trial and it connected it to MLB TV. And even after the trial ended, I was ready to go and renew it. Um, I canceled it, and I was going to get something else, and it stayed. To watch it all without having to pay extra. But I pay for, if they could find a way to bundle all the streaming stuff into a program or something like that, because these streaming things are expensive, but you do get a lot of stuff. I mean, whether you're you know we have Netflix for sure. We do have Apple TV because I got a big Apple package with a bunch of disk storage because I'm all in on Apple. We have that. We still have Disney Plus, even though I barely watch that. um there's a lot of stuff that you can get with these types of things. There just needs to be a better way to go. What I still don't have and I really miss, and it's probably, and one reason I don't watch TV as much, I don't have that way just to take the clicker and just go click, 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 click.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like, no, 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 I gotta go search, I gotta pull up okay, exit, go to this thing, or pull up the thing to go scroll, 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 scroll. Just that click, 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 click was wonderful, but I also sat and just clicked way too much. So it's a blessing not to do that. But well, this is just funny. I'm trying to figure it out.
I don't
If
get it.
he's the type of guy that will bring beef jerky instead of beef chorizo, it's beef and food, so mission accomplished. Okay, I get it now. Yeah, wait. It's like, oh, it's about the chorizo versus jerky. Yes.
Mhm.
Noah, well done, my friend. Well done. It took me a minute. I knew it was good there, and I'm all in. Let's see this here. Oh, wait, no, it was no, this one. Replace NLAL with Eastern Conference, Western Conference. Oh, I don't want to do that. Well, they've kind of done it, but I don't want to do that. I wish we didn't have as much interleague play.
Yes.
I actually like National League batting titles, American League batting titles, but now it doesn't mean near as much as it used to. I mean, when I was a kid, man, it meant everything to get those baseball cards. Here's the home run guys, here's the RBI guys, here's the wins, losses, average, ERA, all that type of stuff. Now it doesn't mean anything. I don't care anymore.
Well, that was the thing that Manfred was also talking about is the travel for realignment.
I know.
He was that was the other thing that he mentioned was
that does make sense.
the traveling for teams and and the excessive going from one time zone to another time zone to this to that so
Explicit's in the house. How do we feel, fellas? I'm starting to get tired. I'm going a lot longer than I thought I would, but that's all right. I have to pay a little penance for not doing my show much, because I didn't do any live and drives last week because I was so mad. Just like disgusting. This was not fun. Let's see, just a couple days ago.
I mean, I feel good. I just
Yeah.
I don't get overly excited about the regular season. So it is what it is. I concentrate mainly on minor league baseball throughout this time.
Yeah.
So I'll watch a Dodger game here and there. I'll go cover a Dodger game here and there. When the time that I really start getting into it, is September, October. When the playoffs are starting to happen, and and then that's when things kind of get intense for me, and I concentrate more, and because it's just I've learned over the time, it's just the expectations are so high, and the team's never going to meet that during the regular season, and
Yeah.
so
For me, it's so, of course, being in San Diego, getting all the crap this last week. Oh, we're there. We're doing this. It's like, oh my gosh, they come out of the woodwork. I'll just go into work tomorrow. I will find my boldest, bluest Dodger polo, and I will wear it. I don't need to say a darn thing.
yeah.
I don't need to say a darn thing. That's what that's what I do. But gosh, man, it just gets I let them bother me. They just they're just so interesting. The thing is, the good Padre fans, they don't say a thing. We'll talk a little bit, but am I going in days this weekend? I don't know. It'll either be tomorrow or Tuesday. I got some other stuff going on Wednesday through next Tuesday. Maybe there might be something that comes up out of nowhere. But yeah, going to work and just laugh. I know. Yeah, there's something to that, But I just, I don't talk smack too much. I talked a little bit, and I do. And sometimes, when people did say something, I say, hey, why don't you go back to my desk and go look at the World Series banner? That's the kind of, and I'll just go, have you seen outside my cubicle? You notice the banner, So just that's where it's at. Oh, Noah went to Cal State San Marcos. Noah, do you know who else? Who is the most famous alumni, Noah, from Cal State San Marcos? Anyone can answer that question. Most famous, and he only went there like a semester. But I'll give it people a minute, and then I'll say it. But yeah, they're just nutty. and they're the fair weather people. They just know just enough. They probably only watch the Dodger games and they'll watch the playoffs, which, hey, that's fine. Go watch baseball, watch more, make it, but yeah, back to the topic, make it easier. Just, man, and I get that streaming, we are in the middle of a clear revolution. I mean, back when I was younger, when we lived in the LA County, up until I was almost 10, it was all antennas.
Mm-hmm.
And then we moved to Morro Bay, and there was nothing you could reach with your antenna. And then it's like, we have this thing called cable. And it was like, and it turned out to be really cool because I got the Dodgers and the Angels and the Giants. So we got double. So, and this is when baseball wasn't on all the time. And so we actually had more channels than we did when we were down in, when we lived in Long Beach. So, okay, Noah, the guy who went a whole semester at San Marcos is Dodger fan and bassist for Blink-182, Mark Hoppus. The only reason I even know about that is because there is a what's it called? There's a Canes in San Marcos, and all the Canes try to go, hey, here's a famous person in this area, and that was it. It was Mark Hoppus, because he went for a semester at Cal State San Marcos.
There you go.
There you go. El Jefe. Oh, what does Verdad mean? I can't remember now. Verdad. No, Verdad. I can't remember what that even means anymore. I'm terrible. My Spanish. I just know I'm the boss. The boss of one.
It means like right.
Right? Yeah, right? Yeah, there you go. Oh, Verdad. Yeah, okay. My Spanish is terrible. I was just changing the things up on the names and all that. I don't care anymore. Just have some fun with it. But man, I should get to bed. I'm actually
Yep.
usually I only work Monday, Wednesday, and Friday go in, but I'm going to go in Monday and Tuesday because I'll be out the rest of the week after that. And then yeah, so that's 2 days in a row of wearing the brightest blue Dodger shirts. I have multiples, as you probably could guess. I had to have a lot to start because I think from early November after the World Series until about a couple months ago, every day was a Dodger shirt, a Dodger polo. So, and even like today at church, it's funny. Down here, our worship pastor is a Dodger fan. I finally met him. Went up to him today, and I just gave him the, yeah, so happy, I mean, what he did, and it disturbs me, but he was wearing a hat after the World Series. I'm not a fan of hats at church, but
Yeah.
we go to one of them hippie churches. We could learn from you, you Roman Catholics, that's for sure on that.
Yeah.
But you've probably seen some of that going to Cal State San Marcos the day after I went to NLDS. Oh gosh, NLDS Game 5 in 2019 was embarrassing. Oh man, pain.
Why are you guys not allowed in Petco Park?
They restrict the tickets. Yeah.
Again?
Now I can help. I mean, I could get tickets. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe I'll get some tickets so that people can buy them off me, maybe for face value or whatever. Yeah, it's crazy what they do there. I hate it, but that's at the same time, and maybe we should do this too. No, I mean, hey, if you're not in LA, if you're not in LA County, that's the priority
Yeah.
for your tickets, because you want people there that really want to be there for your team. But the Padres are, in some ways, they still are minor league. They're the ones that put that stupid Kershaw cry thing on their scoreboard. And and you see you see it's the theater kids that are controlling these accounts and stuff like that, and they're silly. And even our Dodger accounts are getting silly. Like, be professional. Don't and especially don't go after a Hall of Famer from your official accounts or your official scoreboard or anything like that. Don't even, like, I wouldn't even officially I wouldn't mess with Manny. Let us do that. Let the fans go after Manny. We'll boo Manny and Tatis. Let the Padre fans boo Kershaw, whoever they want to beat, boo. But man, don't go put up a crying Kershaw or anything like that. Dude's a legend. And if Kershaw does have a going away thing, Padres better not do a darn thing after what they did. And there was another team that did something like that. Oh, the Cardinals. The Cardinals pulled that crap against Kershaw. It was either last year or earlier this year. It's like, you what are you doing? You treat your legends better than that. They're baseball. I mean, Kershaw is a baseball legend, not just a Dodger legend. It's treat them, they're legends. If but that's the attitude of some of these teams, right? Beat LA. It's not go Padres. It's beat LA. What do our guys say? Let's go Dodgers.
Yep.
Not beat SD or beat the Padres or whatever. It's root for your team. I don't know. And rant. Time to go to bed.
That was a good one by Richard Flores.
What do you say?
You know why God is a Dodger fan? Because the sky is blue.
That's right. And it's definitely not brown and gold. Come on. Okay, people. One last thing. Someone says brown and gold. What are your thoughts? I'm sorry to do this, but it is what it is, folks. They have poo and pea colored uniform. They're uglier than sin. They will. So there's a reason they got rid of those uniform colors years ago, because everyone hated them. And they actually had some good uniforms for a while. Then they got really boring with those they're just the blue and white, dark blue and white. But they had some good stuff in the night, later 90s and into the 2000s.
That's right. They did have a dark blue, didn't they?
Yeah. But those those dark blue pins and stuff with a little bit of yellow and orange and stuff that was sharp. Those are sharp uniforms. The Tony Gwynn in his glory days, and when they were in the World Series in '98, those were great uniforms.
One of my favorite players.
Not great, not as great as our uniforms, but still really good. And they could have done some stuff with those things, but instead they got lazy, and they have brown, and then they have Spumoni colored uniforms for their City Connects. I'm just glad that, I'm not a fan of our City Connects, especially with the little confettis and stuff and the numbers getting cut off. But at least it's not. I at least feel I can be a little masculine by, I can't wear the, or at least our City Connect hat. I can wear it. I would never wear a hat like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You lose your man card, I think, or at least it's on hold. You got to at least turn in your man card while you wear that hat and get it back.
Yep.
Well, when your name is the Padres, you really can't go color crazy for the unions. That's true. But they have a really cool uniform at the stadium. It was when they were the Pacific Coast League Padres. It was a dark blue with a red number. It was a white uniform, and it was like, that's kind of sharp. You throw that red number on anything, it's pretty sharp. And it was like, just do that. You can get away with it. You don't have. What's a Dodger? A Padre. So let's be a Padre. So I'm not Roman Catholic, but when I do go, Padres not wearing brown and gold. They could be wearing red sometimes, right? Because during the calendar,
depends on what the season is.
Right. So you don't. So you can wear something other than brown. So the priests wear different colors. Man,
They mainly wear white,
yeah.
and then they have like different symbols on their sash that they have under their white gown.
They're not pink and light green
No,
and
no,
and yellow.
no.
Well, some churches maybe. the
Yeah,
ones in Germany, it sounds like they're probably.
yeah.
But all right, I'm getting giddy. I'm gonna get canceled the way I'm going. Actually, I will be going to Roman Catholic Church on Saturday night with my son. So
Nice.
yeah, looking forward to that. Go up there and get my book. That's what I
That's
do.
funny.
I hate it, man. My
That's
so just because it's late. My dream before I die is I hope someday to be able to receive the Eucharist at a Catholic church without being Roman Catholic. I'm just hoping somehow that would open, because I actually believe pretty darn close to what you guys believe.
yeah.
But and probably more. I'm probably more believe more I'm probably more Catholic than a lot of Catholics. But that is my bigger dream. That's a bigger dream for me than the World Series and stuff like that. It would be just really cool. But probably not happening. But I do like Bob from Chicago, the new Pope.
We'll see.
Don't you think it's kind of cool that we have an American Pope?
It's cool. I just hope he's traditional.
Me too. I do too. I think the world is better with the strong Catholic and traditional Catholic Church.
Yep.
But it's just I remember I was in a meeting when he got named, and this is a regular work. I don't know anyone's faith there hardly at all. But I go, I got to say this, folks, but the new Pope is an American, and half these kids, they have no idea what that even is. And I go, you just don't understand how big this is.
Huge.
It is absolutely. I thought for sure they'd go back to an Italian.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and he's a real White Sox fan. That picture of him captured at the 2005 World Series is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So Bob from Chicago, Pope Leo the 14th. The only thing we have to convert him to is to being a Dodger fan. That's your job. All right. As Norm says, aloha. So thanks everyone. As always. Mike, you want to throw it out there one more time about your Substack, please?
Oh, if you guys want to support me in any way, appreciate you going to DodgersAfterDuty.substack. I just got a new Substack page, and I've been posting a whole lot of articles on there, and you can read all my minor league stuff, and with some little bit of Dodger things going in there also. So appreciate that. Thanks, Tim.
Yep, and of course, whenever when I send out a link before I do a show, because I don't plan very well because I can't. But fortunately, Mike responded, and he does. And so whenever he come on, it's always great to have him on. So I appreciate you, Mike, as always. Become a good friend. Appreciate you, man.
Mm-hmm.
And as we like to say, going out. Thank you so much to everyone for listening. God bless, and go Dodgers.